Good evening and welcome to the 2021 Dallas Women Lawyers Association Annual Awards Celebration. I'm Jennifer King, a partner with Burford & Ryburn in Dallas, where I represent hospitals and healthcare providers as well as fellow lawyers when they've been sued for professional negligence. I have had the honor and the privilege of serving as the DWLA president this year. Like many of you, I have found 2021 to be a challenging year. Uncertainty is the bane of my very type A existence, and 2021 has certainly been filled with a lot of uncertainty. Things like, will we be able to do anything in person, or will everything have to be virtual? Will our awards ceremony be able to be in person, or will it be virtual? Will jury trials ever begin again in Dallas County? And my favorite, will someone finally make a trial suit out of my favorite pajama bottoms? But forging through adversity leads to triumph. Looking challenge in the eye leads to inspiration. We do not become great humans absent great struggle. I have complete and unwavering confidence that the women in the Dallas legal community and the DWLA will continue to flourish, to elevate, to succeed, and that DWLA will lead the way. If all I accomplished this year was putting the amazing women of the DWLA board together, I would give myself a big pat on the back. I can't say enough about these amazing women, each of them. They are talented, they are smart, they are badasses. So with that in mind, I'd like to take a few minutes to talk to you about the programming that our DWLA board members and committee members put together this year. Our programs committee put together some outstanding programs throughout the year, including New Year, New Rules, Let's Do This Thing, an informal discussion about how we make the civil rule changes work in our practice, and Pursuing Freedom, a candid conversation with Brittany K. Barnett, an attorney, author, entrepreneur, and founder of a series of nonprofits and social enterprises. The committee also launched a series entitled Her Story, Learning from Exceptional Women Lawyers, where committee members interviewed a series of outstanding women lawyers. Other program offered included How to Land a Clerkship and Then Land the Job, a law school committee program that was aimed at area and regional law students. And finally, we are currently planning a series that I'm very excited to share with you. It's about changing the narrative and redefining success. The panel will consist of women from every area of the law: in-house, criminal, family law, big firm, small firm, medium-sized firm, defense, plaintiff, litigation, and transactional law. I am concerned that current and future women lawyers are being discouraged by sound bites and statistics, so we are going to talk about them. Being a woman in the practice of the law is not a hardship. It's not an impediment. It's a gift. It's valuable. It's a tactical advantage. Limits only exist when we accept them as the norm. And I, for one, believe that the practice of law for women is limitless. Our Women's Mentoring Circles program continued this year. The Mentoring Circle program is a joint partnership with the Dallas Association of Young Lawyers with over 200 women participating. The Mentoring Circles offers women in the Dallas legal community a way to connect through shared experiences. Mentors in the program provide guidance and advice through larger programming and conversations within the smaller groups. Our Mentoring Circles programs this year included Embracing the New Normal, Thriving in Today's Legal and Social Environment, Finding Fulfillment in Your Career, Insights and Strategies for Navigating Your Path Towards Your Goals, whether in your current role or in a new one, Wired for Work, What is Your Brain Wired For? A Brain Fitness in a Post-COVID Workplace, and How About Me, Communicating with Confidence and Getting the Recognition You Deserve. We also continued our outreach to the community. We began the year supporting local nonprofits, the Family Place, and Mosaic Family Services, who were impacted by the winter storms. We also hosted an online bingo happy hour to benefit GEM, Girls Embracing Mothers. DWLA's membership committee kicked off the year with Wind Down Wednesdays, where we took lessons that we learned last year with a program entitled Tips, Tricks, and Takeaways, What We Learned in 2020. The DWLA leadership class had another successful year. The class, led by Paige Tackett and Nicole Munoz-Hushka, and made up of 12 outstanding women law students from SMU, Texas A&M Law School, and Baylor Law School, began the program virtually, but we were able to meet it together in person for the annual Speed Mentoring Program. The class also planned their class project entitled Make Your Mark in partnership with the DBA Equality Committee. The purpose of the Make Your Mark presentation was to educate local students with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Dallas on the function of law in society and to encourage the pursuit of a career in law among diverse populations. The presentation consists of interactive games, fun videos, and opportunities for practicing attorneys to share why they chose to join the legal profession. The class also created an Amazon wish list to purchase books and much-needed school supplies. Congratulations to our 2021 DWLA leadership class and all of their great work this year. An initiative this year close to my heart is the promotion of the women of the DWLA and the legal community. All of the members of the DWLA and its board are fantastic in every sense of the word, as humans and also as lawyers. I think celebrating success in all of its forms is meaningful and worthwhile. Through social media during Women's History Month and International Women's Day, and the introduction of our new Celebrations newsletter, created by the Attorney Development Committee, headed by Katie Anderson and Alicia Cormney, we were able to share the many valuable successes and accomplishments of our members. Everything mentioned is part of what the DWLA Board and Advisory Board accomplished this year. Visit our website at dallaswomenlawyers.org to learn more. And while you're there, if you haven't already, I encourage you to become a member of the DWLA. This is an organization with a great mission and a great purpose. Thank you. Before we begin our awards presentation portion of the program, I'd like to recognize a few groups and individuals whose support we've relied upon this year. First, I'd like to extend a special thank you to all of DWLA's sponsors. Our headline sponsor, Toyota. Our platinum sponsors, AT&T and Counsel Law. And our gold sponsor, Sidley. I would also like to recognize our reception sponsors shown here. The DWLA would not be able to fulfill its mission for women in the legal profession without our partnerships. Thank you for your continued support. I am incredibly grateful for the support of our board members this year who have worked to provide amazing programming for our membership. A huge thank you to you all. I'd like to give a special thank you to my law partner, Christina Nason, VP of the awards reception, for her efforts in putting together our program for this evening. I'd also like to thank Maria Vizzo, Executive Director of DWLA, for all of her important work and help this year. It is an honor to be able to have the support from an impressive and valuable group of women on our advisory board. We are appreciative of their guidance and their advice to help DWLA continue its mission. Our advisory board includes several members of the judiciary, general counsels, managing partners and senior partners within law firms, and several DWLA past presidents, among other distinctions. Thank you for all that you do for us. And finally, I would like to recognize and thank the DWLA Foundation Board. The foundation continued its hard work this year under the leadership of Foundation President Susan Wetzel. And now I would like to welcome Susan to say a few words about the foundation.
Good evening. I am Susan Wetzel, and I am the current president of the Dallas Women Lawyers Association Foundation. Tonight, I hope to tell you a little bit about the foundation, who we are, what we do, and how you can help. The DWLA Foundation was formed a few years ago to support the mission and the work of the Dallas Women Lawyers Association in its efforts to elevate the standing of women in the legal profession through charitable giving. The foundation seeks to make a charitable grant to organizations that support women in the Dallas metropolitan area and surrounding suburbs. Since inception, the foundation has funded the DWLA Bar Study Scholarships. These are 3 $1,500 scholarships that provide financial assistance to a woman graduate from one of 3 law schools, SMU Dedman School of Law, Texas A&M School of Law, and UNT Dallas School of Law. And it helps her study for her bar examination. This year's winners were Mackenzie Trimble from SMU Dedman School of Law, Nayeli Dominguez from Texas A&M Law School, and Christy Youngblood from UNT Dallas College of Law. In 2020, we established the Karen D. Mcleod Memorial Grant, pursuant to which we have awarded $3,000 so far to assist a solo or small firm women lawyer with the development of her legal practice through investing in her continuing legal education, career coaching, or financial assistance in helping her establish or grow her practice. The foundation is making a difference in the legal community in Dallas thanks to your generous support, and we want to extend a huge thank you to those who have donated in the past. However, our work is not done, and we continue to need your support. Please consider making a donation today at www.dallaswomenlawyersfoundation.org. Every dollar you give will make a difference in the life of a female lawyer here in Dallas. Thanks.
Congratulations to all of tonight's honorees and also to the Dallas Women Lawyers Association. Carrington Coleman has a long history of recognizing and proclaiming the talent of women lawyers at every level, and that's what the DWLA does. Your support and promotion of women in our profession doesn't just matter, it's instrumental, and it works. Congratulations again to each of this evening's award recipients and to the DWLA.
And now we begin our awards presentation to celebrate the accomplishments of our honorees. Each of our recipients have made contributions to support and advance women lawyers in the legal profession. We start our awards by recognizing our outstanding woman lawyer for 2021, Scarlett McNellie. Scarlett is the Norton Rose Fulbright's U.S. Head of Corporate, M&A, and Securities. Congratulations, Scarlett.
It is my incredible pleasure to have a chance to introduce my dear friend, Scarlett McNellie. She has so often been a supporter and mentor to others that it is a joy to get to celebrate her achievements and wonderful addition to our profession. I have known Scarlett from her days as a baby lawyer to her current role as U.S. Head of Corporate M&A and Securities at Norton Rose Fulbright. Scarlett oversees 30-plus partners and more than 70 non-partner attorneys who comprise Norton Rose Fulbright's globally recognized public and private business transactions practice. Scarlett was also elected to the firm-wide partnership committee. As one of 15 members of that committee, she oversees the strategy, policies, and operation of over 850 attorneys in 11 offices. Wow, that's a big job. Scarlett's devotion to clients, peers, and young attorneys is legendary. As an Asian American woman, she may not look like the majority of M&A lawyers handling the top deals, but she is certainly crushing those corporate lawyer stereotypes and has become a trusted firm leader, an innovator for her clients, and a mentor to other lawyers. I think it is fair to say that in proving herself over the years, she found a way to be the smartest person in the room while also being kind and rising others up with her. While she is undoubtedly a legal powerhouse and a highly respected corporate deal lawyer, it is Scarlett's remarkable character and personal qualities that I really want to talk about. Even though she has achieved levels of professional success few lawyers ever dream of, she is still the same humble and generous person that she was when we all were just starting out. She is the most positive person I have ever met in my life, and she brings enthusiasm to absolutely everything she touches. Scarlett is also a mother to 3 wonderful kids. I often marvel at how she juggles it all without complaining. I would love to say it is effortless, but in fact it requires much effort. Scarlett works harder than anyone I know, and she does it with grit, grace, and boundless energy. Scarlett is considerate. She goes out of her way to listen, understand, and befriend those who work for her, and she is constantly supportive of everyone. Because for Scarlett to mentor someone is to be their most genuine friend, and that includes lifting them up both as a person and as a lawyer. One of her true gifts is her ability to bring out the absolute best in those around her. Scarlett is an encourager and supporter and champion of other women. I can think of several times where she has absolutely refused to let me give up when I was overwhelmed or fatigued in my own career. Her message is always one to keep pressing forward. We do not give up when things get hard, but we do make a realistic game plan for success. She will help you with that. The reality of Scarlett's success is the result of incredible amounts of hard work, talent, and an innate positive attitude and just happy spirit. To know her is to admire her. And if you don't know her yet, now you do. Please join me in congratulating Scarlett McNellie as this year's Outstanding Woman Lawyer.
Thank you, Kelsey, for that wonderful introduction. I'd like to thank the Dallas Women's Lawyers Association for this incredible and humbling honor. I'd also like to thank Norton Rose Fulbright, my firm. I've loved it since I've started, and it's been a place that has truly supported me in my career as well as helped nurture my career throughout. I'd also like to thank my friends and colleagues who nominated me, who took time out of their very, very busy personal schedules to take the time to gather the submission materials, and really, 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 really appreciate you guys. I'd like to thank my mentor and my colleague, Glenn Hettinger. I've known him for almost 2 decades now. He's known me since I was a baby lawyer and has really been an incredible mentor to me. I remember him early in my career volunteering me for speaking engagements and presentations and webinars, and I remember resenting it at the beginning, but realizing now, looking back, what an amazing tool it was for me in my career as a lawyer. So Glenn, 감사합니다. In addition, I'd like to thank my family, my husband, Kent McNellie, my 3 kiddos, Jackie, Joseph, and John. I wouldn't be where I am without your love, your support. I cherish every moment with you, and I thank you for all of your amazing support. I'd also like to thank my parents, Kyung and Sue. They came to this country with the American dream. They came with very, very little in their pockets, and they came and succeeded. And where I am today, I wouldn't be here without their love, their support, their sacrifice, and their support now, helping raise our kids and watch our kids and love our kids. So thank you, Harmi and Harvey. Appreciate all that you've done in my life. To end, I'd just like to say that early in my career, I remember a very distinct, defining moment. I was in a boardroom with 25 other people. I was the only female in that room. I was the only diverse and minority attorney in that room. And I remember thinking at that moment that I vowed that throughout my career that I would do everything that I could to make sure that the female associates and minority and diverse associates wouldn't feel that again. And I would do that by retention, by training, by lateral recruiting, and it's just super important to me and something I'm very passionate about. So thank you to the Dallas Women's Lawyers Association for everything that you do. Love to be more involved in it, and thank you everyone.
Next, we honor tonight's Outstanding Corporate Counsel recipient, Lynn Puckett. Lynn is the Senior Vice President and General Counsel for Celanese Corporation. Congratulations, Lynn.
I'm Paul Janender, a litigation partner at Weil, Gotshal & Manges in Dallas, and I'm honored to introduce Lynn Puckett as the 2021 recipient of the DWLA Outstanding Corporate Counsel Award. Lynn is remarkable and, in fact, outstanding. She is most deserving of this recognition. In less than 3 years in Dallas and as the General Counsel at Celanese, Lynn has had an outsized impact on her company and on our community. She has continued her legal team's intense focus on furthering the goals of its business clients while furthering an emphasis on pro bono initiatives, community service, and professional development. Prior to Celanese, Lynn had a distinguished career as a corporate partner at Hogan Lovells and as a general counsel at Colfax. At Celanese, she's used her legal and leadership skills to empower her team to excel in many ways, including in major transactions and matters over the past year. I want to share some comments from Lynn's team members. They say, quote, "The best thing about working for Lynn is what a sense of community she has helped form in the legal department. She values camaraderie and makes it a priority to promote it amongst her lawyers and staff. We are truly friends and family." Continued. "She is gracious. It is really something to watch Lynn welcome people and know just what to say to make them feel valued, seen, and at ease. She is generous with opportunity. She always looks for ways to stretch her team members, whether it's through new roles, challenging assignments, or creative passion projects. And lastly, her team members say, she's funny, likable, personable, and she cares." From my perspective on personal and professional levels, I value Lynn's perspective on things. Whether talking about work issues or about family, she exudes a genuine care and an ability to be present. She is both kind-hearted and crazy successful, demonstrating that you can, in fact, be both. Lynn challenges people to think creatively. She's a gifted listener and is laser sharp in her analysis of complex issues. She's committed to the development of not only her legal team at Celanese, but of her outside lawyers. I have learned a great deal from her. Of note, she recently suggested to me that a junior female associate on my team argue part of a major motion in court, which our associate did. And Lynn was the first one to praise her after the hearing. Before the ruling was announced, we did win the motion, by the way. Lynn, thank you for your leadership, excellence, and friendship. You're most deserving of this DWLA Outstanding Corporate Counsel Award. Join me in welcoming Lynn and congratulating her on this well-deserved recognition.
Thank you so much, Paul, for those very kind words. You've been such an inspiration to me since I joined the Dallas community, and I really appreciate what you said. And I'd like to thank the Dallas Women Lawyers Association today for this honor. I'm very humbled by it and very appreciative. And I'd like to spend some time thanking all the people that have helped me in my career, but that would take way too long. So instead, I'd like to just share a story and something that I'm asking of each of you today. So here's the story. A few years ago, our global legal team was fortunate enough to have Michael Sorrell, who's the head of Paul Quinn College, speak to us as a group. For those of you who don't know Paul Quinn College, it's a historically black college here in the South Dallas area. Michael Sorrell is just an inspiring leader and a true visionary in our community. And if you don't know him, he's well worth a Google. So Michael's speech to our group was so inspiring that my team came together and said, what can we do to help the students at Paul Quinn College? And we came up with the idea that we could teach some communication skills, help them with public speaking, which nobody likes to do, including me. And we did that, and we've done it more than once. It's been really rewarding for us, and I think the students have liked it. And that outreach has turned into a formal relationship between Celanese as part of the corporate sponsors of Paul Quinn interns. And I'm really pleased to share that we have our first ever black female legal intern working at Celanese from Paul Quinn College. So why do I share that story? I share it because it's just how you can think creatively about our community and about lifting each other up, reaching out, using your talents. The Dallas Women's Lawyers Association has been such a force for good in this community, and there's so many opportunities for us to join together and continue that legacy and do so much more for people that are less fortunate than we are. Thank you again for this award. Thank you for your time and attention, and I'm very grateful for this recognition. Thank you.
Our next award is our Rising Raggio Award, which honors an outstanding female lawyer practicing for 6 years or less and who has had significant professional accomplishments and served as a leader in the Dallas legal community. This year's winner is Hayley Jones, an associate with Crawford, Wishnu, and Lang. Hayley truly embodies service to others. Congratulations, Hayley.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you Hayley Jones. Hayley is relative to me because we're relatives, probably second or third cousins 3 times removed, but I'll let you figure that out. If you don't know Hayley, too bad, you should. Hayley Jones is one unique individual. She is very deserving of this award named in honor of Louise Raggio. Hayley is a unique individual who has done many great things and accomplished a great deal in a short span of being a lawyer and being with us on earth. I've known her since birth and am proud to introduce her. She is not only a rising star, she will continue to be a rising star, and some might say her star has risen. But she has done so many things in such a short time that it's hard to enumerate all of them. Hayley entered the practice of law after graduating from SMU Law School and after that went with the firm of Crenshaw, Winshaw, and Lang PLLC. She's been with them now for several years and has tried multiple cases, both to juries and to judges, and has represented clients, both plaintiff and defendant, in all kinds of litigation all over the United States, and has done an admirable job. I'm told she mixes passion with compassion and is equally liked by both sides of the bar when she presents in court. Judges love her, lawyers love her, clients love her, the law firms love her. Haleigh is a unique individual. In her time as a lawyer, has dedicated herself to the advancement of young lawyers, both male and female, in things that she has done with SMU Law School. Having been a stellar graduate and a recipient of the Fred Moss Award for Excellence in Communication and Presentation, Haleigh has continued to serve as a mentor and proctor to the law school teams there that are doing mock trial and moot court competitions across the country. The teams that she has put together and the work that she has put into these teams have resulted in many national awards from the American Bar Association for excellence in moot court and mock trial competitions. The students love her. They want to be taught by her. They want to be part of her entourage of lawyers coming up through the ranks. This dedication to these upcoming students, and why do we teach students to be better lawyers than we are, perhaps, but she does it. She wants them to be excellent in whatever they do. She's been a recipient of awards at SMU Law School. She's been recipients of awards in her functions with the Bar Association. She has been a very active member of the Dallas Association of Young Lawyers, where she has taken on leadership roles and continues to provide her counsel and expertise to those in the Dallas Association of Young Lawyers. She has chaired the intern committee or co-chaired that committee. She has done the trial skills boot camp, which the Dallas Association of Young Lawyers puts on for lawyers to give them the feel of being in a courtroom. I mean, it is a stellar resume that she has. She has been nominated and received the Outstanding Coach Award by the SMU Board of Advocates and is a proud recipient of that award. She also has appeared for many functions with the Dallas Bar Association and is well regarded and well received by all members of the Dallas Bar. As past president of the Dallas Bar, I would have been honored to have had Haleigh serve as the chair of every committee we had, but needless to say, she preceded me a bit, and so I did not have the pleasure of having her serve with me on the Dallas Bar Association. Haleigh has just done so many wonderful things as a lawyer and as a person. She's an advocate for family, for animals. She has an extended family with 6 aunts and uncles and a large family in the Dallas community. It is my pleasure to introduce Hayley Jones to you, and please join me in congratulating Haleigh as a recipient of this year's Rising Raggio Award. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the Dallas Women Lawyers Association for organizing this year's virtual event and for recognizing me as this year's Rising Raggio Award recipient. I am absolutely humbled to be receiving this award. My firm, my family, we have been just blown away by the outpouring of love I've gotten since I was named. So thank you to the DWLA. There are dozens of people who have contributed to this for me, but there are 3 in particular who I need to thank. The first is Justice Doug Lang. Judge Lang was the first lawyer who really ever gave me a shot. He met me when I was a 3L at SMU Law School. I was about to graduate and I had no job prospects, and after a 30-minute conversation that was mostly about my dog, Kevin, he made me a job offer to come be his briefing attorney. So I took that job, and since then, Judge Lang has been my friend, my mentor, my confidant, and my moral compass. So To Judge Lang, thank you for being bold, crazy, brave enough to give me my first real shot as a lawyer. The second person that I need to thank is my partner, Trey Crawford. Trey works every day to make me a better lawyer. He conscientiously thinks about what he can do to make me better, and it's not lost on me how lucky I am to work for somebody who I want to make proud. So I recognize that that's rare and special. So to Trey, thank you for working so hard to make me better. Of course, the last person I have to thank is my wonderful husband, Will. Will is the silent MVP of my career. He does so much. He goes above and beyond to support me, and I could not do half of what I do without Will. So to Will, thank you for everything you do as the dad to our dogs, as my support system. We couldn't do it without you. As lucky as I am to have these three amazing people in my life, I think Louise Raggio would agree with me that I am a bit of an outlier. My journey has been paved with wonderful mentors, and I think that makes me an exception to the rule. I started looking at some numbers and thought about what Louise Raggio would say about our current bar. And you all know that women are 47% of associates who enter the bar, but only 19% of equity partners at law firms, which means, for those of you who are as bad as I am at math, that somewhere along the way we are losing more than half of the women that law firms are recruiting out of law school. 93% of firms reported that their highest paid attorney is a man, and of the top 10 most highly compensated attorneys, most firms have 0 women in that group. If you're like me, those numbers are a little daunting and a little overwhelming, but I've decided that my call to action for you all tonight is this. Tomorrow, depending on how you're working, whether it's in person or over the phone, either call or go see one of your female colleagues. And this applies to women, too, who need to support each other. But tomorrow, call or go see one of your female colleagues and ask her what you can do to give her a shot, to make her a better lawyer, and to support her career. Because I guarantee you that every single one of your female colleagues has an answer to one, if not all 3 of those questions. And I believe that if we ask those questions of each other, and if we fulfill the commitments we make to each other in response to those questions, we can make this a better bar for young lawyers to practice law in, particularly young women to practice law in. We can leave our bar better than we found it, which is exactly what Louise Raggio did. She was a champion. She was a pioneer. I am so honored to have my name attached to hers. I am truly humbled by this recognition. Thank you to the Dallas Women Lawyers Association for this award.
I am pleased to announce that the Outstanding Jurist Award this year goes to Judge Audrey Morehead. The Honorable Audrey F. Morehead is the first woman elected judge of Dallas County Criminal Court No. 3. Congratulations, Judge Morehead, and thank you for everything you do for the DWLA and the Dallas legal community.
It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you the 2021 Outstanding Jurist of the Year for the Dallas Women Lawyers Association, the Honorable Audrey Morehead. It is quite an honor for me, as I've known Audrey, Judge Morehead, since middle school. She and I grew up together, not going to the same school, but having mutual friends in middle school. And from there, we sat together every single day in the Skyline cafeteria here in Dallas, having gone to high school together. It is such an honor and privilege because neither of us knew growing up in Oak Cliff together that we would still know each other all these many, I won't say how many decades later, but we're here. And as I watch her serve the community with sensitivity, with care, with humility, it amazes me. In fact, I had the privilege to be called as a jurist in her courtroom, and to both of our surprise that I would be there as a juror. And she looked at me and said, "Are you here to check on me?" And I said, "No, I'm actually serving in your court today." So to see her in action on the bench just made me so proud to know that my friend would serve the community in this way. And if there's no other word to describe her and all the adjectives, it would be as authentic. She brought everything I knew her to be to that room that day. And to see her portrait on the hall, to always be there in County Criminal Court number 3, made my heart just burst with pride. So I give to you today the Honorable Audrey Morehead as our Outstanding Jurist of the Year.
I am so overwhelmed with that introduction. Thank you so much, Vicki, my dear, dear friend for so many years. I appreciate you being so kind and generous in your remarks. This is just so incredible. I was so shocked when I read the email that I was receiving this award. I looked at it several times before responding. Now, Jennifer King, if you know her, you will understand that I was reading that email for instructions on what she wanted me to do. So I was very confused. She is absolutely the leader sent by the universe for DWLA for such a time as this. Thank you, Jennifer, for your service. I thank all of my colleagues and fellow jurists. It is an honor to serve the citizens of Dallas County with you. I've prayed that I be equal to this situation. When I consider the stellar jurists that have received this award, I know that DWLA has bestowed it upon me in advance, hoping that I can live up to its significance. I have been involved with the Dallas Women Lawyers Association since 2003, when my friend Laura Benitez Geisler was president. I have been blessed to have so many very good friends that shaped my professional career in DWLA, women from Dina Denoyer-Stroh to my beloved Karen Mcleod. And I can't forget the inimitable Chrissy Castle. She is a force of nature, an amazing lawyer, and an even more amazing friend. I greatly appreciate her allowing me to work with her at Castle Law. A former president of DWLA, she is so single-minded in the development of young women lawyers that she would offer jobs over the salad at the Inspiring Women Luncheon, a habit that frustrated me to no end. I'm so proud to call her my friend, but also the president-elect of the Dallas Bar Association. All of the women in DWLA take to heart the charge to elevate the standing of women in the legal profession. It is my honor to receive an award from an organization that has meant so much to me. This is truly incredible. I cannot thank all of the people that have shaped my journey. I realized as I prepared my remarks that I have gotten on a lot of people's nerves. I apologize. I do, however, want to identify a few people whose impact is so profound that I am compelled to recognize them today. I wouldn't be here without Al Ellis. Attorney-client privilege prevents me from going into too much detail. But let me say, Al was a friend of my father's, and my father entrusted me to his care within the legal profession. Not just Golden Gloves, he has been my champion, and I have no achievement in which he is not represented. My mother, Nita Morehead, she picked cotton and worked as a maid for the Ariel Thornton family, a name that will be familiar if you drive on the freeways of Dallas. She sacrificed everything for me, nearly dying giving birth to me, and I fear I haven't made it much better since. She was the first African-American female to graduate with a PhD in her field of study at East Texas State University, now Texas A&M Commerce. She taught me how to overcome adversity, to be resilient, to never give up. She also paid for law school. There's that. She is the wind beneath my wings. Rosemary Redmond, also a friend of my father's for close to 40 years. When I met Rosemary, she was a nun, like a real nun with a habit, except she was also a lawyer, and I was 10 years old. When I graduated from law school, she offered me an office and everything I needed to start a law practice in the struggling, up-and-coming area of Uptown Highland Park. She gave of her knowledge, her resources, and her love. She is the definition of women supporting and inspiring other women. Ashley Gradney, the only associate I ever hired. I doubt she would have let me hire anyone else, but she was so extremely dedicated and practiced at such an intense and high level that it allowed me to increase my community service and ultimately run and become elected judge of Dallas County Criminal Court Number 3. We will always be the A-team. Well, you knew it was coming, the legend, Judge Rhonda Hunter. I don't know how it happened. Certainly not when she was teaching me the step ball change at the Mary Lois Sweat School of Dance. Yes, really, she was my dance teacher. Decades before Bar None even existed. She asked me at the home of Chief Justice Carolyn Wright if I had a mentor. I said no. She said, "I'll do it," and just walked off. She had about that same amount of enthusiasm. So I had no idea if she would really become my mentor. That was 18 years ago this month. Whatever the goal, Rhonda said I could do it, and I believed her. Of course, I was too afraid not to. There is not a Judge Audrey Morehead without a Judge Rhonda Hunter. A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside of yourself. And yes, she is my mentor, but she is also my best friend. Let me close with her example by asking you life's most persistent and urgent question. What are you doing for others? Are you being an encouragement to someone? Are you an ally in rooms where decisions are being made? Are you being a problem-solving partner? Are you speaking up on behalf of the undeserved and the disenfranchised? Have you offered yourself up as a mentor for women and girls? Trust me, when women and men support women, incredible things can happen. Thank you.
Good evening. Judge Audrey Morehead is a pillar in our legal community. Judge Morehead has been actively involved in all kinds of legal organizations since she was a law student. Judge Morehead and I have had the privilege of working together for the Dallas Association of Young Lawyers Board of Directors, the Dallas Bar Board of Directors, the Texas Women Board of Directors. In fact, Audrey helped me significantly the year I was president. The Dallas Women Lawyers Association, Audrey and I both served as advisory board members. Judge Morehead shows up, she rolls up her sleeves, and she does the work. Judge Morehead is so deserving of this special recognition this evening. I'm so excited and honored to call her friend. Congratulations, Your Honor. Well deserved.
Next, we present our James E. Coleman Jr. Her Champion Award, which recognizes a man who has supported, mentored, and promoted the advancement of women in the legal profession. This year's recipient is Paul Amiel, a partner at Haynes & Boone. Congratulations, Paul.
Congratulations, Paul, on receiving this year's James E. Coleman Jr. Her Champion Award. I can't think of a better way to recognize your unwavering commitment to uplifting, mentoring, and sponsoring women and the advancement and development of women in the legal profession. I've had the honor of working with Paul for the last 14 years, and as anyone that works with Paul knows, he is first and foremost a brilliant corporate finance attorney. But Paul's real legacy in the legal profession is how he has single-handedly changed the course for so many women lawyers at our firm. And his efforts go beyond the walls of Haynes & Boone and create positive ripple effects for the Dallas legal community. He's done this through intentionally mentoring and sponsoring women lawyers. And he doesn't do this work for the glory or for the spotlight. He does it behind the scenes, because that's the kind of leader that Paul is. I've witnessed Paul advocate for women lawyers when we're not in the room, to make sure that we're not overlooked and that people with decision-making power know about our capabilities. He does this through small acts, like making sure a client knows about the great work that a junior woman associate on his team is doing, and through larger acts, like helping us develop our own business so that we can become economically empowered. You'll often hear people at our firm say to our associates, "You need a Paul. You need someone who's going to take the time to invest in you, who's going to help you navigate the unwritten rules of a legal career, someone who's going to go to bat for you." Paul, we're so lucky to have you in our lives. I'm thankful that you're my friend, mentor, and law partner. Thank you for everything you've done for me in my life and career. And Paul, I know that your wife Lisa and your kids, Marie, Claire, and Reed, all share the pride that we feel for the important work that you do to advance women in the legal profession. Please join me in congratulating Paul Amiel, this year's recipient of the James E. Coleman Jr. Her Champion Award.
Good evening. Thank you, Sakina, for that nice introduction. And I'd like to thank my colleague, friend, and partner for many years, Susan Wetzel, for nominating me for this prestigious award. I'd also like to thank the Dallas Women Lawyers Association for honoring the award recipients this evening, and especially for being such a positive force for the past 50 years in working to elevate the standing of women in our profession. I don't need to recite to this audience the many studies that have shown the benefits to companies of having women in leadership positions. And while progress is being made, many law firms and legal departments still lag in promoting women to these positions. So it is institutions like the DWLA that are vital in helping women make these changes happen. So for those of you listening that have not yet become members, I urge you to do so. I am humbled and truly honored to be given this award named after such a distinguished lawyer. When I moved to Dallas in 1982, fresh out of UVA Law School, I knew James Coleman was a named partner in the law firm, but I had little appreciation for what an exceptional individual he was. But over the years, it became impossible not to notice the imprint he had on the Dallas legal community. In almost 7 decades of practicing law, he achieved unanimous acclaim for his professionalism, his ethics, and particularly for his insistence that women be given the same opportunity as men. And although I never knew Mr. Coleman, I did know one of his peers, another legend in the Dallas legal community, who was also insistent upon giving women their fair opportunity. And that man was Dick Haynes, the founder of our law firm. In 1976, when there was a lawsuit filed against several major law firms for their refusal to hire women, Dick hired a young woman graduate from the University of Texas Law School named Nina Cortell. And how fortunate we all are that Nina came to Dallas and has blessed us with her leadership and brilliance in the practice of law. But Nina was not alone. When I arrived, we had several other women, Noel Hensley, Jan Sherry, Ann Sagert, and many more were to follow. And each of these women became partners and leaders in our firm, and each blazed the path for new generations of women to follow. So I had plenty of opportunity to see strong women leaders succeed. But Dick wasn't acting alone. Dick, together with Mike Boone, Robert Wilson, George Bramlett, and many of our other early partners, were all steadfast in their commitment to the advancement of women and giving them an equal opportunity to succeed. One specific example of this commitment happened shortly after I joined the firm. It's hard to believe, but less than 40 years ago, women were not permitted to sit in the main dining room of the various dining clubs around town. Haynes and Boone and several other prominent Dallas lawyers gave the clubs an ultimatum and resulted in a change in that policy so that women could sit with the men in the dining room. It seems difficult to believe today, but without Dick and others, and I feel certain James Coleman was one of those men, joining together to take a stance, who knows how long that archaic system might have survived. And the point that I'd like to make this evening is that while we may not all have the same opportunity to right such an obvious injustice, I hope each of you realizes, particularly the men in the audience, that taking a stance when you see slights directed at women is vital, it's important, and it is an absolute must-do for each of us. And by injustice, I mean that in the broadest possible sense. Each of us likely encounters some form of discrimination from time to time, and it's easy to let it pass. But I urge you not to do so. Encourage your colleagues to give every associate an equal opportunity to succeed, regardless of race or gender. Do not let your clients or your fellow workers exercise bias against women, and be particularly vigilant for implicit bias and lend a helping hand when possible. And of course, most of all, give the women you work with the opportunity to demonstrate their abilities. That's all they're asking for. In conclusion, let me express how truly touched and honored I am to accept the James E. Coleman Jr. Her Champion Award this evening. It really does mean so much to me to realize that I've had some success in furthering the careers of the women I've had a privilege of working with over the years. However, I have to be honest, it's easy to be a mentor when your mentees exhibit such eagerness to learn and accept responsibility. Monica, Sakina, Corey, Aaron, Patricia, Kelly, Ellen, so many more. I have no doubt you were instrumental in me getting this award, and I need each of you to know from the bottom of my heart that it has been my true joy and privilege to work with each of you and to see the rise to success you have each had in your careers. When I retire, I will, of course, look back on the memorable closings and war stories with fondness. But what I will be most proud of is not the billings, not the collections, not the client pats on the back, but rather the success and growth of the lawyers I've had a chance to mentor. So thank you all for that opportunity, and you know who you are. And thank you once again, DWLA, for all that you do for Dallas women lawyers and for this incredible award, which I humbly accept. Thank you and good evening.
Haynes & Boone is a business law firm with 600 lawyers around the world, all focused on excellence and fully committed to providing a fair and inclusive environment where all lawyers, including women, are recognized as vital to the firm's success and to obtaining the best results for our clients. It's why we are proud sponsors and supporters of the Dallas Women Lawyers Association. Together, we can empower changes to elevate the standing of women in the legal profession and within our community. We congratulate our friend and partner, Paul Amiel, on his receipt of the James E. Coleman Jr. Her Champion Award from the Dallas Women Lawyers Association. Paul has been an instrumental ally in mentoring and sponsoring women attorneys at Haynes Boone. Congratulations to all of tonight's award recipients.
And now for DWLA's highest award and honor for the evening, the Louise B. Raggio Award. This award recognizes a person demonstrating the highest levels of professionalism who has contributed significantly to the advancement of women attorneys. Tonight, we honor Judge Irma Ramirez, United States Magistrate Judge for the Northern District of Texas, Dallas Division. Thank you and congratulations, Judge Ramirez.
To be part of the introduction for the Louise B. Raggio Award for my friend, the Honorable Irma Ramirez, makes me so honored and proud. Judge Ramirez and I were law school classmates, and in fact, we were trial advocacy partners together. I knew then I needed to be her partner, not only because, she's amazing and outstanding, but I knew everybody else was gonna lose, and I didn't want to be in that number. So, we have been fast friends ever since. I am proud to watch her today receive this honor because she is a scholar, she is a lawyer's lawyer, and above all, she's my friend. I look forward to watching her receive this honor.
I'm so excited to be here with you this evening to introduce my friend, Irma Ramirez, Magistrate Judge for the Northern District of Texas and your newest recipient of the Louise B. Raggio Award. Irma's accomplishments are many. Her resume stretches for miles. An SMU Law School graduate, she began her career at Locke as a civil practitioner before transitioning to a fast-paced criminal practice with the United States Attorney's Office for the Northern District. Irma took the bench in 2002 and has been serving our community now in that role for almost 20 years. I think the key word there is serving. The Louise B. Raggio Award honors a commitment to justice and advancement of women attorneys, and I can think of no one who embodies these attributes more than Irma Ramirez. I first met Irma when I was beginning my legal career, and she was kind and poised, and I thought, when I grow up, I want to be like that. I want to be like her. I appeared before Irma many times in my practice, and she was always, hands down, flat out, the best prepared person in the room. And when I made the decision to pursue a magistrate judge position myself, I reached out to Irma. Can someone like me do this job? Can I dare to have this dream? She took the time to mentor me, to encourage me, to educate me. She was my person who said, it's okay to shoot for the stars, even if you ultimately fall short. And she continues to do that today, for me, for countless others. She takes the time to develop and mentor others. Since joining the federal bench, I've seen even more closely the countless ways that Irma boosts and supports others. Magistrate judges talk to each other. I guess you could say we're each other's behind-the-scenes sounding boards. And Irma is always the first to respond, to point out a helpful opinion, to suggest an approach. We should all have an Irma in our lives. Irma has shown me that you can be an exceptional judge and be an exceptional person while you're doing it. And so without further ado, I'd like to ask each of you to join me in congratulating my friend and fellow magistrate judge, Irma Ramirez, this year's recipient of the Louise B. Raggio Award.
Louise Raggio was an extraordinary woman who fearlessly went where few had gone before her. And what she accomplished made the lives of women better, not just the women around her, but also of generations who followed. She dedicated her life to lifting up women. When I learned that the Dallas Women Lawyers Association had honored me with the award that bears her name, I was simply overwhelmed by the enormity of her legacy, a legacy continued by the members of this organization and by the women who have received this award before me. Women who, like Ms. Raggio, have smashed through barriers and continue to break them down. Women I've long admired, and many who have been mentors to me. As I reflected on this legacy, I started to hear that inner voice that so many of us know. Not even close. You have such a long way to go. As I faced that emotion, it occurred to me. As goal-driven lawyers, we sometimes get so intently focused on where we're trying to go and what we're trying to accomplish that we forget to stop and look back, to see and remember where we started. Only then can we truly appreciate how far we've come. But more importantly, we can see those who are starting right where we did. For every 30 or 40-year lawyer, there's a 20-year lawyer striving to also make her mark. Behind her's a 10-year lawyer working hard to get to that next level, followed by a 5-year lawyer. For every first-year lawyer who is trying to newly navigate this practice of law, there's a college there's a law student who wants to be right where she is. And behind her is an admiring college student and a starstruck high school student. Looking at her is a little girl who wants to be just like her. The point is that no matter where we are in our lives and our careers and how far we still want to go, we are always in a position to help someone else. None of us have gotten where we are without help. We all have a list of those to whom we are forever indebted. Mine starts with my amazing husband, my family, my dear friends, colleagues, too many people to list tonight. We can never truly pay back our champions, our sponsors, our mentors. We can only try to pay it forward. We can do that by reaching out to others, and especially to those women and girls who follow, and by lifting them up, just like Louise Raggio did for us. With all that's going on in the world, they need us now more than ever. And more than ever, we need them because they are our future. Thank you, Judge Novak, for that wonderful introduction and for honoring me with your friendship. Dallas Women Lawyers Association, thank you for one of the greatest honors, not just of my career, but of my lifetime. You've inspired and challenged me to follow the example set by Louise Raggio and to seek to do this award justice. Most of all, thank you for all that you do to lift us all up. Good night.
Jennifer, thank you for your steadfast leadership through a tumultuous year. Although we all hoped that in-person programming would be the reality of 2021, the pandemic had other ideas. Your grace and flexibility allowed us to continue the critical mission of elevating the standing of women lawyers in the legal profession. And elevate us you did. Your work at Baylor Law School increasing the number and quality of women's initiatives will impact legal talent for years to come. You encouraged us to promote ourselves and others rather than wait to be promoted. You highlighted groups of women lawyers that are often forgotten. You worked tirelessly to disrupt the status quo. And for that, we thank you, Madam President. Cheers to a successful year.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Marisa. I cannot wait to see all that you accomplish next year as DWLA's president. And this concludes this evening's program. Thank you all very much for joining us, and thank you to all of our award recipients for all that you do for women lawyers and the Dallas legal community. It has been my honor and privilege to serve as DWLA's president this year. Good night.